Mediation, what is the purpose of it when we are talking about a birth trauma or a medical malpractice case? Want to know what I'm getting at here? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello, I'm Marcus Boston, and I am a childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorney practicing law here in the state of Maryland, and I would like to quickly talk with you today about that question, mediation. What is the purpose of it, and why is it so important? Well, what I would like to help you understand is that when we are talking about mediation or essentially settlement of a case, of a birth injury case, mediation can be a very important tool in this process. And the reason being is because mediation will allow both sides or allow the parties to get together and to try to hash out an agreement in regards to the case. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of the specifics about mediation, because if you have specific questions about a mediation, maybe you've got a mediation coming up or something like that, I'm going to direct you to your attorney if you have an attorney to answer your specific questions. But I will talk about in general what this process looks like. Now, you got to understand something else too, and that is that when we have mediators or when we have things like this going on, each mediator might do things a little bit different. So what one mediator might do, another one might not do. But in general, what we're talking about is, like I said earlier, the parties during a mediation will get together and try to hash out an agreement as to the case. And ultimately, what you're trying to do during a mediation is to settle or resolve the case. Now, a lot of times in mediation, why it can be so powerful is that during a mediation, you, the plaintiff, you, the person bringing the case, you get to sit down and make a decision as to the value of your claim or the value of your case. If you have a jury trial or if you have a fact finder that is present and that is going to be making a determination as to the merits and as to the value of the case, then all of that is taken into consideration, and that decision-making power is placed in the hands of the jury or in the fact finder. So that's one big difference when we're talking about mediation versus a jury trial or a fact finder, bench trial in some instances, being able to determine the value of the case. So that's one really important factor when we're talking about mediation. Now, a little bit about the process. Generally, in the ones that I have done, what happens is you're going to have all of the parties present. You'll be there. Your attorney or attorneys will be there. The defendant, so if it's a doctor, the doctor will probably, more than likely, the doctor can be there if they choose to. Their attorneys will definitely be there. If there's any people in regards to the insurance company, if there's insurance that's involved, there may be adjusters that may come to the mediation. If a hospital is involved, they may be there. They will have their attorneys there. If there's any insurance issues or things like that, there may be adjusters and people there on that end. And so what will happen is, behind the scenes, to prep for the mediation, both sides will give what we call a mediation statement. They will write down the issues in the case, the things that are important in the case, and they even may talk about the value of the case. Each side will create this mediation statement, and they will submit it to the mediator. And what this does is it allows the mediator to get a flavor or get a feel for the issues in the case. And so during this process or during this negotiation, in some cases the mediator will have the parties separate. In some cases, the mediator might have them together. But regardless, however it's done, the mediator's job is to try to see if there can be a resolution to the case. So why have I taken the time today to talk with you about this really important information? Because more than likely, if you are watching this video today, you have an interest in something like this. More than likely, maybe your child has been injured at birth, and you are wondering, you're trying to learn about this process. You're trying to figure out, okay, well, if I do file a lawsuit, will the case have an opportunity to be settled beforehand, or must we always have a trial to try to resolve everything? And so I'm trying to give you insight into this process, how things like this work when you are thinking about bringing a birth trauma or a medical malpractice case in the state of Maryland. If you have more questions about your situation, like I said, maybe you're here because your baby has suffered an injury at birth and you have questions, you're concerned about the challenges that your child is going to face going into the future, and you would like to speak more about these challenges. If you have all this going on and you would like to speak with me further, this is what I invite you to do. And remember, taking this next action, it costs absolutely nothing. And what is that action? To pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, you can send me an email to medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. I answer birth trauma and medical malpractice questions just like yours all the time, and I'll be happy to take some time and listen to your story. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law at Boston Law Group, LLC, and we will see you next time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.